Damned right. What do we know? And that was when it happened. The actual date and time when the sky fell on Chicken Little. There was a thump first, then an odd lack of vibration. 1 second the scenery was holding him up, the next a trapdoor opened in the universe, and he fell through it. Gravity. What a concept. The fuel light was flashing like Christmas. There were procedures. He could probably send out a mayday. That was on the list. But who in their right mind would be up at 2 a.m. waiting for some dopehead on a magical mystery tour to call in? And timing, man. He was in 14,000 pounds of metal heading down to Earth with 20 canisters of volatile substance on board. Some rescue that would be. He disengaged the rotors, waited for stability, unclamped his belt and rose from his seat. He smiled at the briefcase sitting in the co-pilot's seat, but he didn't have time to take it with him. He had barely 30 seconds of the rest of his life to look forward to sort it all out. Use your time wisely, man. Who should he think of? Who to pledge his love to? Who to hate? No, that last one was easy. That son of a bitch was 1 day away from getting his. And now look at this. God damn it. A one-way express ticket to some big old Boyd barbecue. All in the timing. He worked his way down the crawl space to the cabin and staggered around in there. He'd seen men die in all kinds of ways. He knew what St. Peter's first question would be. "How did you go down, son? Were you calm about it? We don't want no screaming Girl Scouts up here, boy." So Boyd opted for cool. When you're cool, death doesn't seem that final. There was a village, and all were asleep save 2. They saw the chopper come down, not like a rock, not plumb straight, more the way a slab of slate might slice through water. They both saw the wheel hit the treetops, then a spark, and the big bird exploded, spewed out a whole galaxy. One of the insomniacs smiled and clapped his hands, but he could never tell anyone what he had seen. The other was so shocked she fell out of a tree, hit her head on the way down and knocked herself blind. But the last image that projected itself in her mind was as certain as the earth. She'd seen it. A dragon had collided with the moon. It had burst into 1,000,000 shards, and the pieces cascaded across the jungle, and there would never be lightness again at night. 1. Another fine mess. Dr. Silly and Madame Deng sat on the edge of the smelly bed and looked at the body hanging from the door-handle opposite. They were a couple not renowned for silence, but this one lent itself most splendidly to speechlessness. They took in the too red lipstick and the too tight underwear. They breathed the whiskey fumes and the scent of vomit diluted with disinfectant. They'd both seen their share of death, perhaps more than a fair share, but neither had experienced anything like this. "Well," said Deng at last, uncomfortable in the early morning quiet. The foggy mist rolled in through the window and rasped the inside of her throat. "Well, indeed," agreed her husband. "This is another fine mess you've gotten us into, Dr. Silly." "Me? I didn't do it." "No, not it exactly. It you didn't do, I grant you. But the consequences that led to it, they've got your fingerprints all over them. Madam, judging from the evidence in front of us, I'd say this would have occurred whether we were here or not, and it didn't even have to have happened here. This was a tragedy begging to be let out of the bag." "Again, you're right, but if you hadn't volunteered yourself, volunteered us all, we'd be at home now beside the Mekong, eating noodles in relative peace. We wouldn't be in this room with this particular body, about to be embroiled in an international scandal. This would be someone else's problem, someone in good health capable of handling it. But oh no, one last adventure before I retire, you say. What can go wrong, you say. Everything's perfectly safe, you say. And look at us now. 5 weeks ago we were perfectly content, and now we're up to our necks in dung. Come on, Deng, be fair. What could I have done to avoid it?" "What could you have done?" "Yes." "Torn up the note." 5 weeks earlier.